Hi, my name is Nethaneel Mitchell-Blake. I attend Louisiana State University and I represent Newman Essex Beagles. Well, I've been running pretty much all my life, but I'd say I started taking it seriously when I was about 16 after moving to Jamaica at the age of 13. You know, you realise you have a talent when you're the fast one in the playground, and that was always me, representing your primary school, your secondary school at district. And then I moved to Jamaica where I started taking it more seriously. They have boys and girls champs there, and that's when I realised the magnitude of the sport and how big of a thing it is. And that's when I realised that if I want to do something in it, I might have to buckle up. You see the likes, I saw Johan Blake, I saw Nickel Ashmead, Ryker Hilton, the likes of them running boys and girls champs when I was just the age of 13. So I was like, wow, it's pretty serious. And then I started to take it more seriously. I realised that I may be able to do something in the sport, and then it just took off from there, really.
So how do you find it competing at LSU and basically the American college scene?
I love it, I really do. I've embraced it. It's something that you have to be committed to. Outside looking in, people think it's really extraneous and it's hard, a lot of races, but it's something that I've benefited from. It took some getting used to, but at the end of the day, it's about who wants it more. You've got to be mentally tough. I wouldn't say it's for the weak. And I have a great coach, great facilities, and it's a conducive environment to become a great athlete, and I feel like it's definitely helped me.
How did you feel when you obviously ran the free event and managed to win all three of them?
It's a funny story actually. So I had opened up with 10:09 in the 100 that year. That's a personal best. And I opened up with 20.17 I think in the 200. It was windy, but nonetheless I knew I was in some good shape. And my coach and I obviously had a plan. We stuck to it. Going into SECs, had a group chat with my friends, and we had joked about it. I was like, yo, I'm gonna go for the triple. And that morning I was ready. I'd run the heats previously. I was in prime position. The body was feeling good. The weather was beautiful. My body, as I said, my body was feeling right. And started off with a relay, and we had a great quartet. I anchored it.
The relay first?
It was a relay first. We ran 38:33, and we were 1/100th of the school record. And I actually kind of slowed down because I said to myself, well, I have 2 more races today, let me conserve my energy. I didn't even realize we'd run that fast because we'd been running like 38:8, 38:9 all year. But when you get the baton going and you're just feeling right, it clicked. And so I didn't even have time to celebrate that race. Like, I remember I anchored it, but I didn't even take the interview. I let the other 3, I was like, yo, I gotta go ready for had the 100 off. I said, I'll go for the 100. So I ran back, I cooled down, spoke to my coach, because the races are like an hour apart.
Oh.
So it's like you have to literally cool down, hydrate, and refocus.
And come again.
And so right after that, I had the 100, and I'm not the quickest starter. I kind of got better after SECs about my start because I'd worked on something. I kind of realised what I was doing wrong kind of late in the year. But I knew I had a great top end, and it was a great field, some great athletes in there, some that went on to run sub 10 that same year. So I got a terrible start. I got left in the blocks, and I was in the one. I got left in the blocks.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I just had to hold my composure, held my dry face, came up and just powered through. The last 15 meters, everyone started tying up because I was reaching for the line. I actually dipped before the line and came up before the line, but I came up victorious, and that was I wouldn't say it was surprising because I knew I wanted to win, I knew I could win, but that was kind of like a relief. That was the one event of the day that could kind of hinder my triple. So the 200, that's my pet event.
You're confident for the 2 then now?
Yeah, that really set me up for the 2 because the guys in the 1, they know that the 200 is my stronger event. I mean, if they were to beat me in one event, I'll probably be the 100. Nonetheless, still a great field, not taking anything for granted. In actual fact, my teammate was my biggest competitor in that race because he went on to run 20.15 out of lane 7 or 8, something crazy like that. And I remember I was in the block and saying to myself, let's get it. I was kind of tired as well. It's like, have you ever raced and you kind of feel drained before your race, but something that's when you run your fastest? So I'm in my blocks. I get out and I remember I drove or got up and I just said, keep going. And I literally just told myself, keep going, keep going, keep going, get faster, get faster, get faster. And on the home straight, I don't feel anybody. I just kept going, kept going, kept going. Dipped, and I was like, that's 3-peat. You know, that's the 1, 2, 3. And I was excited. I couldn't believe it.
Did you realize the time straight away, or
nah.
It took you a little while?
No, because I was just coming to terms of winning the triple. Yeah. That within itself was overwhelming. And when I look back at the clock, I saw 1990, I think was it 99 1995? I saw 1995 and I looked back and I was like, is it gonna stick? And it stuck. Because you know, sometimes when you run, the clock changes, it might round up a bit or round down a bit, and I was like, yeah, I was like 9, and I was like stuck. I was like, oh no way, that's life changing, you know, sub 20.
Sub 20, yeah.
Not many people.
Yeah, in Britain, there's only a few people who even gone 19.
Regis, myself, and Adam. That's the top 3.
Yeah, so you know, part of obviously an elite group of guys. And then, how did you feel after that? Did you think, right, the 19, did you think, I hope it's legal? Was that your
Yes, of course. I said, wait, the clock didn't round up, the wind gauge is legal.
I've done it.
Because as an athlete, there's certain barriers you wanna break. 400 is 45, or maybe 44.5. 200 is sub 20, 100 is sub 10. You know,
the big numbers.
Yeah,
in the medal,
certain numbers. When you break, you become part of an upper echelon in your field. And sub 20, I think I'm the 49th guy to do it in history. You know, second fastest Brit, and then under 23 record holder. So I didn't realize that moment in time, but obviously social media is a hell of a thing. So once you do something big, people always flooding your head with stats, and I'm like, wow, I didn't know this, and it's amazing.
Man from Newark.
Yeah, stuff like that. You know, exactly. I got my high school record now, but I'm still not even my school record holder. Imagine that.
Xavier, you go to a fast school though, do you know what I mean?
Xavier Carter, 1969. So I'm second in school history, so it's crazy.
I mean, if you run that next year, London, you know.
Oh gosh.
You should be able to.
Let's get through winter first. Let's get through winter first.
That's what I was thinking, you know, I'm thinking with next year coming, but I wanted to tap pretty quickly about with Rio. How was Rio for you anyway? How was your Rio experience?
It's the Olympics, you know, it comes around once every 4 years. To make an Olympic team's an accomplishment within itself, but then you have to refocus and say, let's do something at the Olympics, you know. And to be truthful, the time between SECs and Olympics wasn't really easy because I got hurt at NCAAs after the 4x1. I anchored the team to victory, and I ran the last 30 meters with a torn hamstring, so I couldn't run the 100 and 200 that day. And then I came over to trials. I had to pull out of trials, and then the selectors were kind enough to extend their gratitude and allow me to prove fitness at Europeans, which I done by running the Olympic standard in the heats, not the finals, but I had the time previously, and then they gave me the discretionary.
They gave you the spot.
The discretionary third spot.
You're pretty much.
And I was just training, and I wasn't even pumped because I was saying to myself, I'm not where I knew I wanted to be. So I'm training through the injury, and I was always kind of battling a niggle. And then I was supposed to run the anniversary games, and then I couldn't really do it because I said to myself, my body's not quite 100. Let's just say it for Olympics. Went to the Olympics, credit to all the medical staff and the GB doctors and the selectors, because they all had the utmost faith. My teammates as well. There was a real strong camaraderie in the team, and we all fed off that energy. And me being the newbie, well, myself and OJ in the apartment, because CJ had made a team before, you know, Worlds last year. So in that sense, everyone kind of fed off each other's energy, and I learned a lot from everybody. Lloyd was really good to me. Credit to Stephen Maguire. They were all really influential in getting my mind right, because at that point it's all about mental. Who's the strongest mentally, you know? So I'm training out there, I'm trying to get my mind right. My coach comes over, and the heat sheets come out. So I'm scrolling down now, and I'm like, what heat am I in? And I don't see my name. I scroll through the 10 heats, I don't see my name. And then to look back and see heat 10, lane 1. Oh. And I was like, okay, you know, someone's got to get it. And then prior to my heat, I was like, no one qualified from lane 1. It's a bogey lane. I was like, oh mate, I got to do it. I was fortunate enough to qualify from lane 1, given another opportunity in the semi-finals. Got lane 7, which is a much better lane. I was really pumped for it. But the semi-finals, I was unable to replicate some things I'd done earlier in the year, and that goes down to just myself really. I can't blame anybody, you know. I can't point the finger. It's just about preparing yourself for the bigger stage. Yeah,
so do you think going from college scene and then obviously your first Olympics, did you feel like it was too big of a transition, or you felt it's just because you were injured at the wrong time of the year, you felt if you were right, you'd be ready to tussle with obviously the top guys?
No doubt, I feel you could, woulda, shoulda, coulda. You know, I'm not one to really do that. I feel like everything happens for a reason. I had prepared myself as well as I could have for the Olympics. My coach and I, we had a plan, you know, and we always knew that Olympics would be the eventual aim. And I got injured. It happens. It happens to everybody. So it's something you can't beat sometimes. You know, I was fortunate enough to have a really good season. Had a niggle, kind of disrupted my year, but I gave it my all. I left it all on the track. So when I passed the line, I wasn't even really frustrated. I said to myself, well, Nat, you've done everything you humanly could have done to like prepare yourself for this occasion.
And that's that, yeah.
Just that.
So you felt happy with your first Olympic performance? When you experience sort of thing.
You take it with a grain of salt, you know. You got to be grateful for the opportunity. I didn't perform how I'd wanted to, but nonetheless, I can't dwell on it, you know. I can only use that for fire going forward. So when I got that last rep on the stadium, and that last rep in the weight room, it's just that fire saying you got to do better next year, you know.
Yeah. So, with next year, we got basically our World Championships in London, Newham, hometown, homeboy.
Yeah.
I think that's niggling in the back of your mind, thinking, imagine you're there lane, you know, whatever lane in the final.
Whatever lane. Van Niekerk done it at lane 8, you know. Angelo Tate done it at lane 1, so giving a lane.
London's a good track, it's a fast track, so being at home, you're going to have loads of obviously support being from GB, that's the standard. And obviously being at home, I mean, a lot of people have championships in their country, let alone
their borough.
So does that make it a little bit more special for you think?
No doubt. I mean, you know, home advantage, isn't it? Home advantage. The support in Rio was amazing. I can't imagine what it would be like come London 2017, you know. That's definitely the aim, to represent Great Britain there at the Worlds, do something in the final, because I feel like that's the ultimate aim as an athlete, you know. You want to make the final and do something. But credit to the stature of British athletics right now. It's on a real high, especially for the sprinting. So let's make the team first. Let's get through the winter, let's get through the spring, let's be healthy, and we'll see what happens.
Okay, man. Hey, it's been a pleasure, man. You know what I'm saying? You know where it's at, HBTV. Mr. Blake.
Thanks a lot, man. Bro. Appreciate it.
No worries, man. Peace.